Good morning and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast Show, Thursday edition, Governance and Politics. And I'm your usual host, Patrick Soko, with my co-host, Shalon Karimbula. Together, we will be with you up to the hour of 9 as we discuss various issues pertaining to national governance and talking about segments. We are running behind time and we're just going to go straight into our first segment that we call Health Corner, so that we can get to hear what the doctors have prepared for us in as far as informing us regarding health tips is concerned. Stay tuned.
Good morning, viewers. I'm Dr. Mkoka, coming to you from Medical Women Association. So we have been looking at a disease known as deep vein thrombosis, commonly abbreviated as DVT. Yesterday we looked at what it was, in which we defined that it was a formation of a blood clot in the deep veins of the body, mostly affecting the leg. We also looked at some of the causes, which included stasis, hypercoagulable state, and also damage to the endothelial lining. We also mentioned some of the symptoms associated with the disease, and these included pain, swelling of the affected leg, numbness, warmth on the leg, paralysis, and also discoloration of the skin. Today we're going to be looking at some of the risk factors associated with the disease. Our risk factors are divided into two. We have modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. Under modifiable risk factors, we have smoking, obesity, pregnancy, immobility. Under immobility, we have patients who tend to be bedridden because of chronically ill diseases, and also those who previously had surgery. They tend to be immobile and also puts them at a risk of having increased formation of blood clots in the body. The other thing is traveling long distances. When you're on the bus, maybe traveling from, let's say, Livingston to Lusaka, which is about 6 to 8 hours, you find yourself sitting the whole way on the journey. It can increase your chances of having formation of a blood clot. The other thing is the use of contraceptives or hormonal therapies. Hormonal therapies like estrogen tend to increase your probability. Hormonal therapies like estrogen tend to increase your probability of having clots forming in the deep veins of your body. One other thing is pregnancy. When you're pregnant, it tends to obstruct the veins of the lower part of your body, and this obstruction can lead to stasis of the blood, which in turn causes formation of the blood clots. On the non-modifiable risk factors, we have age of more than 60 years. On the gender, it affects more females than males. Other non-modifiable risk factors include genetic predisposition. Some people have mutations in their DNA that predisposes them to having a higher risk of formation of blood clots. The other thing is autoimmune diseases that tend to predispose them to that. And also cancers. So when you have a cancer, sometimes certain cancers predispose you to increased hypercoagulable states, which in turn form clots in the deep veins. So what are some of the complications of DVT? So what are some of the symptoms of pulmonary embolism? They include difficulties breathing. You just have sudden difficulties breathing, just begins randomly. You also experience severe chest pains. You experience fainting, which is the loss of consciousness, and also coughing out of blood. Another complication of deep vein thrombosis is a syndrome known as post-phlebitic syndrome, which is venous insufficiency. Post-phlebitic syndrome, which is venous insufficiency, tends to lead to gangrene. So gangrene is pretty much the death of the affected leg. So the leg starts discolorating, it becomes darker compared to the other leg and becomes non-functional to a point where you might actually need to have the leg amputated. So when it comes to diagnosing DVT, we have what we call the WORLD score, which is a criteria that is used to grade the level or the severity of DVT. It is also used to grade the probability of you actually having the DVT. So your symptoms come into play. When making a diagnosis of DVT, A score known as the Wells score is used to grade the probability of you having the deep vein thrombosis. So the symptoms of the condition tend to have a score of 1. So if you have paralysis on the leg, you have pain, it can give you a score of 1. If you have a history of having DVT, it also grades you a score of 1. So when you have more than 2 symptoms of DVT, it increases the chances of having it. So join me tomorrow as we're going to be looking at some of the treatment options that are available and also ways in which we can prevent having this condition. So my name is Dr. Laila Mkoka, coming to you from the Medical Women Association. See you tomorrow.
Welcome back. You are watching the Camnet Breakfast Show. Sharon, quite an elaborate topic there.
Indeed, the deep vein thrombosis.
You are saying it very as if you're a doctor.
Yes, deep vein thrombosis. This is what she was also talking about yesterday. I think today was just a continuation. And to you, our viewers, as a reminder all the time, is that this segment is specifically meant for you. And you can also call in, send in those suggestions that you feel, topics that you feel the doctors should address. Of course, these are just basics, but they can help you identify if at all you need help from the medical personnel or you need home-based care or something related to that. It will actually help you by giving you the hints of what illness you might be suffering from. However, it's always important to go to these health facilities and have yourself checked properly by people trained in this particular field. However, for now, let's look at how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles. The United States dollars is fetching at 16 kwacha 16 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 48 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 19 kwacha 48 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 87 ngwe. The euro is at 16 kwacha 39 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 72 ngwe. The South African rand is at 0.96 ngwe and selling at 0.98 ngwe. Those are your money markets as of today. Remember, these exchange rates vary from one financial institution to another. Indeed, if you're just joining us, this is the breakfast show, and we will obviously be talking to some of our guests later on the show, but we are with you up until the hour of 9. The show Society Agriculture and Commercial Show in Lusaka has started. In case you are exhibiting at the showgrounds, be sure to contact us so that we can exhibit some of your products here on TV. You know, we're bringing technology closer to you. We will come to your stands and put you on camera, and then we will be able to televise whatever you are promoting, however you are interpreting the theme this year. Remember, Patrick, you've not had this agriculture and commercial show for at least 2 years due to the COVID-19, and this is definitely a bang because it's going to run for about 6 days consistently, because in previous years, I know it would go for 6 days, but it wasn't as vibrant as this one is. You know, it would only be vibrant for the last 4 days because people would actually be busy and stuff, but already you guys who were there actually can run us through how the environment is, how the vibe is. But I could see some people playing jams, clearly showing that the whole thing is on and on as of yesterday, Wednesday. And I hear that they're not they're not bringing foreign artists to perform. They want to promote local. Obviously, Mr. Bai Zambia.
Exactly.
He's very excited.
He should be very excited.
He should be very excited, Patrick.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting. Like you put it, Sharon, quite a number of activities at the Show Society this year. We were there and we witnessed that people are getting their stands ready and making sure that they are ready, especially that it gets to Friday, because Friday is the most active day.
Most active.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
and Monday.
And Monday.
Exactly.
If you don't want Chikwera,
Monday is actually the worst.
Just
because
have to
people-
avoid Monday.
You avoid Monday if you
Yeah.
don't want to get it, because people have got different notions to say no. But man, this is the last day. You know, all the activities is the last day. They want to cash in on the last customers and stuff. Things are reduced and what. I don't know if I thought that is really the case.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It is usually jam-packed on Monday. Whichever section of the show, agriculture and commercial show you visit, you'll be entangled in the human traffic. The congestion is just too huge.
Human congestion.
Yes, Sharon.
If
And
you say human traffic,
I know
it's a correct term, but it just feels
you
a
want to
certain
write
way.
it to the
to human trafficking.
to vehicles.
Actually, but human trafficking.
Yes, yeah, but my advice is that probably you do Saturday if you want to do a family arrangement. You do it Saturday and Sunday, where it is flexible. You can do your things, do your shopping, do your window shopping. And for business houses there, like Shalon Kalimbola indicated, we are mobile in the Show Society as Camnet TV. You can just get in touch with the marketing department or visit our Facebook page where we have our contacts there. Even if you want also feature on the breakfast show, and we have a conversation regarding what you are doing at the agriculture and commercial show, and just to help us interpret the theme, you can actually do that so that we keep the vibe and help you with your business, because at the moment, if you're not advertising at Camnet TV, probably you're advertising in wrong for us.
Exactly.
So you're better
Show
off.
money where it's worth.
Yeah, but if you're not certain about that, you need to ask actually if you're tired. But but that's what's happening. So our team is already on the ground. They will be interacting with various businesses so that we can also help you interpret the theme for this year's agriculture and commercial show. Because even us as Camnet TV, we also want to see how we can complement small and medium enterprises, Sharon, because you know that we have a ministry now, and we're looking at packages that can accommodate these small scale businesses to be able to advertise their businesses at a subsidized rate, because we are also a responsible entity that acknowledges that we need to also support the growth of other businesses.
Wow.
And when we do that, when they grow, we grow together, because you know, Camnet TV is equally a baby that has been growing very fast.
Very fast.
And
very
fast. Is a force to reckon with when it comes to the media industry, and as far as television broadcasting is concerned.
Exactly.
So even us, as we grow, we also want to grow with other businesses that we can aid as a station. So just look out for us. We have a flexible rate for SMEs that is going to be catering across, and we'll be crossing over time and again to the showground, especially probably on Friday. We'll be interacting with children so that they can interact with us on the breakfast show. Those who are able to greet their relatives, you can do that, and our camera personnel will be going there to just get your views and express yourself. Just be comfortable. This is your TV station. Just express yourself.
Indeed, Patrick. Let's zoom in some of the stories that we covered yesterday. Economic Front President Winter Kawimba has charged that Zambia's economy has not made any improvements under the current administration in comparison to the previous administration, stating that having 3 decent meals per day is still a challenge for the majority of citizens. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Kawimba notes that it is important to take criticisms from the opposition as unnecessary attacks, stating that everyone hopes to see the country develop. He has also commented on the ongoing investigations of former First Lady Esther Lungu, who went for questioning at the Drug Enforcement Commission. And meanwhile, let's also look at the story that happened yesterday in Parliament, where independent Lumezi constituency member of Parliament, Monia Zulu, was slapped with a 10-day suspension from Parliament for threatening to grab the Speaker's mess from the Sergeant at Arms. Patrick, you also have a story that called for in this line for Mr. Chipenzi there, where he was commending the police for conducting themselves professionally. Please go through the story.
Yeah, so the story states, Gears Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi has applauded the Zambia police for what he terms as police in new management of unlawful assemblies called solidarity assemblies. Mr. Chipenzi notes that the Solidarity Assembly for the former First Lady, Esther Lungu, who was summoned to account for the acquisition of 15 flats by the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, would have ended up in bloodstreams due to police brutality in the past. It says despite the commotion, the situation was policed in respect to citizens' freedom of assembly and association and expression regardless of the organizer's political affiliation.
Great stuff there. We will talk about the story. Let's just look at the stories back to back, Isaac, so that we can run through them, and thereafter we will discuss them.
Zambia's political and economic scene has been a hive of activity since 12th August 2021 after the change of administration from the Patriotic Front PF to the now ruling United Party for National Development UPND. The UPND has made various economic pronouncements aimed at bettering Zambia's economic stance while indicating that the party is properly stationed to realize most of its campaign promises to the Zambian people during its 5-year mandate. The Economic Front EF has added its voice to the happenings in the country. In an interview with Camnet News, party president Mr. Winter Kavimba has charged that hunger is too prevalent in the country, indicating little change so far.
We seem to have gone back to the same culture that the Zambian people condemned under PF. Okay, the culture of cadres trying to usurp the authority of the police. I think if we are going to be an organized society, we must respect institutions such as the police. UPND themselves, if that is an indictment, are guilty of the same indictment. You remember an incident where HH was summoned by the police, and there were hordes and hordes of people there. And I think 1 or 2 people ended up getting killed as a result. So a political leader always has support. And when those that summon political leaders summon the leaders, they must know that there is no way a leader would go to their offices alone. Why do you want to create an environment as if the person that you have invited is already guilty of the offense?
Mr. Kavimba has also added his voice to current affairs in the country, including the questioning of former First Lady Esther Lungu, who was at the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC on Tuesday.
I want somebody who tell me as evidence that I was going hungry under PF and now I have 5 meals in a day. I want somebody that is going to say to the nation, I didn't have an income under PF and now have excess income.
He has further urged the current administration to heed advice coming from different sectors, stating that only a listening government governs to the expectations of its people. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The way the police managed the so-called Solidarity Assembly in support of the former First Lady is commendable, and that clearly shows that the fears that we always have, that we should deny people their freedom of assembly, association, expression, can be demonstrated there that they are unfounded if the police has to manage all these things properly. You saw how they were provoked, you saw how they were intimidated, you saw how they were harassed, but they remained cool in such situations. So we want to commend the police command for allowing even unlawful assembly to take place. Unlawful assembly through this solidarity. But key to it is that I think we need to revisit this issue of giving solidarity to suspects of criminal offenses. I think we need to reach a point where we are able to disassociate ourselves to criminality and support what is supposed to be. The culture of corruption should not be allowed. The culture of amassing wealth that we cannot account for.
Lumezi Member of Parliament Munia Zulu was Wednesday slapped with a 10-day suspension from Parliament, including suspension from drawing any allowances from the August House and performing any duties as a Member of Parliament for his constituency. This follows a point of order that was raised on 23 March 2022 by Katombola Member of Parliament Camnet Andelike, who wanted to find out whether Mr. Zulu was in order to make running commentaries and threatened the Chief Parliamentary Security Officer and Sergeant at Arms by stating that she would need adequate security to handle him. Mr. Andelike further stated that the conduct exhibited by Mr. Zulu was in conflict with parliamentary etiquette and decorum, and that if it remained unregulated, it would bring the name of the House into disrepute. And Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Moti, said several witnesses were called to clarify if the point of order raised by Mr. Andelike was indeed true.
She submitted that Mr. M. Zulu MP then began making movements simulating a boxer, which prompted her to request him to stand still and ask if there was a problem. She stated that it was at that moment that the honorable member threatened her in vernacular, translated as follows, and I quote, "There is a lot of stupidity here at Parliament. You should call enough security as there will be a fist fight here today," end of quote. She further stated that when she asked him who he would fight with, he responded that she should just call enough security because he would start by grabbing the Speaker's mess.
The Speaker further told members of Parliament that after considering the written and oral submissions of the parties and witnesses, the Committee on Privileges and Absences established several factors.
Threatening to grab the mess, which was the symbol of the Speaker's authority, he had committed grave misconduct. 2. This was the second time he had been found in breach of the rules of the House. 3. At the time of the incident complained of, the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker was rendering a ruling against him, which showed that he was unrepentant. 4. He had denied the allegation and wasted the committee's time. 5. He had not expressed any remorse for his conduct. And 6. He was a new member of Parliament and therefore was still in the process of learning the rules of the House.
The Speaker then asked members of Parliament to vote whether Mr. Zulu should be sent out of Parliament or not, and according to the vote, the aye took the day, which saw Mr. Zulu being suspended for 10 days starting today, Wednesday, 27th July 2022.
The matter has been resolved in the affirmative. You, Mr. M. Zulu, MP, are suspended from the service of the National Assembly for 10 days. The suspension is with immediate effect from today, Wednesday, 27th July, to Friday, 5th August 2022.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
All right, those are some of the stories that we carried yesterday, and yes, we were zooming in. Quite interesting stories there. We hardly have Winter Kabimba on camera, really, on our news and many other platforms, really. He's very, I don't know what I would say, he's in a cocoon, for lack of a better term. He doesn't really like exposing himself to the media, but having him in the news and giving his view, perspective. He once held a very senior position, so really we'll always run to him and get these views pertaining the economic situation of this country. He's still a relevant stakeholder, and he also touched on the much topical issue of ECL and Mrs. ECL appearing at the Drug Enforcement Commission, which saw also Gear's Initiative Executive Director, Mr. McDonald Chipenzi, say, commending the police actually for a job well done, because according to him, in the previous administration, there could have been bloodshed all over the place, you know, trying to disperse people. But like we discussed yesterday on the breakfast show, that we saw quite a number of bad images emanating from that gathering there from the ruling UPND members, and very calm PF members, really, and the diplomat himself among them trying to calm the situation and being called reasonable by the police. So obviously, that speaks volumes. You know, when you pass through the wire of diplomatic lessons, you behave in a particular way, regardless.
Yes, you understand how to manage situations.
Yes.
Diplomatically.
Diplomatically.
Okay, let's handle this
Diplomatically, you know. Let's not scream. Let's not make noise. Let's not get so loud. And also, Patrick, independent member of parliament for Lumezi, always dramatic.
He's been known for
wrong reasons.
Really
all the wrong reasons. I don't know. I don't understand.
It's attention that they need in the house, but I think they seek it in a wrong way. Even straightforward things like the reason that necessitated its suspension, it was avoidable.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it was being whisked out or being told to leave the house.
You know, he almost beat up someone who was like, hey, what?
As if you were coming from the streets or you are
parliament.
So I think we've been treated to some worst scenarios. In this
National Assembly. Exactly, you know, and I think, you know, I don't know really, but people give you that position when they elect you. It's no more reason why some people just say, because I mean, you take somebody like that to parliament who's going to behave like that consistent. We're not judging this man, but his behavior has consistently been unparliamentary, as the speaker would say. To say, honorable member, your behavior is unparliamentary, I'm not even sure if these people deserve to be called honorables. You know, because if you're an honorable member, obviously you behave in a particular way and not, you know, wanting to fist fight. You know, like trying to fist fight. It's like, are you, you know, are you serious?
Yeah, I remember the Magande saga. Everything.
Yeah, you know,
where all the wrong information was attributed to Mr. Magande when there was no element of facts. When the opposite was true. You remember that?
Like, I remember that story where he even said, I will never be covered by Camnet TV, but of course, if you're in parliament, we will definitely cover you like we did yesterday. You have no choice.
For you deliver it.
No, we won't. We won't, but really, I think
when we are covering parliament, because parliament, we are stakeholders to the National Assembly, we are accredited, and we follow the business of the House every day. So we have to cover parliament, and that's what we do most of the times. And Sharon, getting back to the story that you talked about, the story of Mr. Chipenzi, the GEARS Initiative Executive Director, it brings me to one interesting aspect, which is the aspect of the Public Order Act, and how the GEARS Initiative and other stakeholders in the civil society movement are actually putting up a piece or a draft legislation to help government have a mirror of how they would want the Public Order Act to look like. Because we are talking about the amendments to the Act, remember, Sharon?
Yes.
But I think we are going to see progress because I don't think, if you see the Assembly, and you see how Mr. Chipenzi described the Assembly and everything.
Solidarity
Assembly. So the Solidarity Assembly. So
I was right to call them Solidarity guys the other time, not so.
Yes. So when we talk about Solidarity Assemblies, probably we should have a way of how they are managed by the police. So the key is about the police. Let them go with their solidarity. Let them assemble in solidarity of sharing. But we don't want them to go unruly or to become unruly. So this is what the Public Order Act seeks to achieve. And we just hope that the amendments this time around will be actualized and that the government will make headways towards facilitating its enactment through the Ministry of Justice, who are the final people in terms of making sure that they put in the legal language into the bill before it can be enacted and to become law, because the law we are using at the moment is archaic in that it is a colonial rule which the colonial masters were using against the black people to just discourage them from expressing themselves, knowing that if these people get organized, they can unseat us or take over our responsibility. So, but now we are all Zambians.
Exactly.
And what we seek and what we fight for is the same thing. We want to see a better Zambia which is developed and everything. So even as we provide checks and balances, let's not do it in an antagonistic way. We do it with an emphasis that what we want to see is development.
Indeed.
If Zambia development, everyone else benefits. No one would be happy to be in a country that is least developed.
While we have, while we are here launching the biggest nickel mine, while you're launching these big processing plants in Mwinilunga, while you're going to launch the water what on Friday tomorrow. So basically, all these launches, all these developments should be in correlation to what the people want and to how people are living. It shouldn't just be on paper. However, these are subjects of debate, and we will want to hear from you. Patrick, yesterday, before we get to invite our guests on set, there was this thank parade for the girls.
For the girls, yes.
It can't go untalked about, but there's such a word.
Yeah,
I'm fond of creating English words. One day I'll do my own dictionary.
Yeah, and I think it is a correct term.
It is? It is?
Yes.
According to this.
Untalked about.
Untalked about. Unmentioned.
You can't go unmentioned.
Unmentioned,
yeah,
untalked about.
And exciting, they moved through Lusaka. We saw them with the company of the Zambia army, where the girls were greeting the people of Lusaka. They did a good job, Sharon, while in Morocco, because they managed to lift a bronze medal.
That's number 3, yeah?
Number 3, yes. And I saw that teams that were there looking at assessing how the girls performed. If Zambia beat South Africa, or if Zambia was not unfairly treated in the match against South Africa, we were going to beat Morocco and get the trophy. So probably they did a good job, those people who were trying to orchestrate that we don't make it to the final, because if we had made it to the final,
would have gotten the cup.
The cup, because I saw the way Morocco was playing.
By far our match.
So, and I saw they said our girls would
have done it.
Would done a good job. So, Sharon, I think that was a good activity there. That's among the stories that I will zoom in later. Then there's also this interesting story, Sharon, that we have a 19-year-old Robert Zulu of Garden compound in Lusaka suffering from an unknown illness that has left him blind and unable to walk for the past 9 years. He is appealing to well-wishers to assist him with a wheelchair to aid his movements. Ruth Zulu is elder sister who has been taking care of Robert since their mother died in 2013, says it has been a challenge for her as she has no formal employment and to earn a living. That's quite a delicate story, and if you look at they're just siblings, and she's equally young, and she's taking care of her younger brother, but who's suffering from unknown illnesses. So, but we also try to find out if we can connect these people
to health professionals so that they can try and assess the situation.
Eye issues, probably they may be able to identify what may be leading to blindness. We help them ascertain. They may help them ascertain that probably if it may not cause any other challenges, because it was blindness that came. The boy
wasn't born like that. It just came out of a situation. So
other issues.
Maybe it's irreversible. It's reversible.
It's irreversible, all those issues, Sharon. So we need to see how we can also follow up that story and make sure that probably they are linked to health experts or health institutions that can be able to provide the necessary support.
All right, let's look at the story. Then thereafter, we invite our guests on set as we discuss issues to do with online transport that is emerging. Obviously, we've seen a number of institutions trying to offer these online transport services where you just call and they'll come and pick you up from your location. So these are people that are in the transport sector, and we will be discussing this issue with them. Let's look at the story as we get into that.
This is Robert Zulu, a 19-year-old teenager of Guardian Compound in Lusaka, who suffers from an unknown sickness that has left him blind and unable to walk for the past 9 years. He narrates to this reporter the challenges he faces just to move from one place to the other.
No kuni kazi kakopa pamnea papampando so inesininga kwani so kuyendane kan kaidi ne nima kondoku bauza veve vavai kutiva vai nifuno enda toilet basi nikabauza basi veve vazanyamuka vazani tenga ine vazani peleka toilet basi vazani leta futi ne kuno kunyumba.
Ruth Zulu, 26, Robert's elder sister, says her brother was born with a head condition but mysteriously became blind and was unable to walk in 2013 after the death of their mother, and she has been taking care of him since then. She also says medical reports from different hospitals have proven that there is nothing wrong with her brother, and therefore they have stopped visiting health facilities since 2017.
Number 203 piana bado chainzi chabena ya mutu chabi 2013 ndiye situation pena kulira kwa alikoyangana alikoyenda alikoshita vili vonse after the death of my mother ndepe inayamba problem hii. So chenenga pempeko mwana kumusunga nikwanisa koma chenenga pempeko ntandiyapo nkala kozi ndiye wenvutika na eve uyu singa sevenze singa msiye kasachita vili vonse pema muona pa unka simple. So nimachanja chabe mtu peace work so chabe koma tandizo tonezoenda pa UTH paka 2017 ndiye pewana kama tiso na pezimu problem ili onse nizofuna mchitatira mbapanga kaya bana nabo akangiwa kai futi mulina mafiti no bono zati akaendo fitting hapo futu kabwerere naye my transport nilibe kuti nile naye saka nisoenda so tinkala chabe so chabe uyu mwana sasa vera ni so chabe ukamwika pamene hapo nkala mwamene alili hapa so ni so chabe kwembekeza chabe kuti no mpase vakudya manje hapa adi so chabe time yogona futu wa mnyamula futu waenda.
Meanwhile, Charity for Christians director Joshua Robert is appealing to Pentecostal churches in Zambia to reach out to the less privileged in society just as Christ did.
To get concerned about the welfare of less privileged people in society. From time to time, we watch them crying for help on TV and even see them in other places. But sometimes we just ignore and pretend as if we don't know what the scripture says about that.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News in Lusaka. The Shipolopolo have Wednesday, 27th July 2022 held a thank you parade around the city of Lusaka to appreciate the public support during the 2022 Women Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia defeated Nigeria to win the 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations third place playoff on Friday, July 22nd, 2022 with Everine Katongo's first half effort separating both teams. The Copper Queens, who suffered a 1-0 defeat against South Africa in the semi-finals, looked to finish the tournament on a high note with a win against the 8-time Women Africa Cup of Nations winners, Nigeria. The Zambia Sports Fans Association patron Peter Makembu notes that the gesture by the Football Association of Zambia of according the girls the parade is a good way of welcoming the girls.
That the girls finally, they're all in the country, and that has been my prayer to say we want them alive. We would have welcomed them in a massive way that they deserved to be given such kind of a welcoming. We have done so. Remember when the senior men, they were in Cameroon, in Ivory Coast, where they lost. On their arrival, we were there at the airport at an awkward time to give them the thunderous welcome, to encourage them, to say, boys, it's not yet over. And that really worked upon our soil. So to the girls, we would have done the same way. except that they were coming in bunches. So it made us not to move in such kind of the welcoming move. So the parading which has been happening today, we are very happy that FAS thought of doing that. They would have gone a mile further, where I would have been involved and trumpet level the roadway of where those girls they were being paraded to.
Fans around the city had an opportunity to catch a glimpse of their favorite Copper Queens as they drove through Lusaka. The Tokyo 2022 Olympic Games participants have broken new ground under the watch of Bruce Mappy and his technical staff. Meanwhile, Makembo has urged soccer fans to show up in number in Saturday's CHAN game between the Chipolopolo and Mozambique.
Camp now will be playing on Saturday. And Saturday is a crucial game because the qualifiers of this two leg, they will go to the next round. So we cannot be seen qualifying since the deciding game will be played here on our soil. Malawi lost Mozambique lost their chance that side. So coming to Zambia, it is our chance here on our home soil. Our machinery will move at Hero Stadium and stand with the kind of the pressure of the game. As fans don't have a pressure at all. The pressure is I don't know, is with Mozambique, not even on my team. The pressure is not there because we'll move in with an inspiration of what the girls have done. And I'm sure the girls will be there to parade themselves at Hero Stadium where we shall wave our machinery towards them. That's what a kind of a person we are.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet Sports, Lusaka.
Welcome back. You are watching the Camnet Breakfast Show with me, Patrick Soko and Shalom Kalimbula, and we were just zooming in some of the stories that were making the headlines in the main news that we had yesterday. And just now in the studio, we've been joined by our guests who are going to help us discuss quite a trending issue pertaining to the online taxis, which is trending. And in studio, we have Mr. Lucas Chanda and Gift Kapongo, who are going to help us discuss this issue. They call themselves online drivers. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, quite an interesting discussion we're going to have here pertaining to issues pertaining to online taxis. Let's have a conversation. First of all, what is the major issue? I start with you.
Okay, thank you so much. The major issue here, it's all about these digital apps that has come in Zambia. That is Ulendo, Yango, Zamcab. There's so many, I would say. Mm-hmm. So the major issue here is about really the fares of these apps. It's not really good to us as drivers, taxi drivers online, I would say. Why do we say so? Because way back, as we are working as taxi drivers, definitely we're making a little bit of money, I would say. We're making money. But, you know, this life is all about digital. Mm-hmm. The world has come digital. So in that, these guys came in and, you know, most of the people now, they've gone like digital. Everyone is using their phones and you see. So you find that the customers that we had way back, they have gone also digital and they can't call you. They would rather use their phones and a taxi driver will come to their doorsteps to pick them up. Yes. So, yeah. So it's really a good thing, I would say, because this world, it's a digital migration, I would say. Yeah. So the thing is that the thing which is really killing us as drivers, it's about the fares that these companies they have come up with. Because you find that a short distance, someone is paying a 14 kwacha per short distance. And you find that fuel, we are buying a liter is 26.75. I would say it's 27 kwacha, of which it is really killing us as drivers. So, yeah, that's a major issue.
Mr. Gift, I meant to understand your gift.
Yes,
please. Your contribution on that.
So the issue is that I believe even our clients outside there, I can say they are all our witnesses of how much they pay, and I can say it's not their fault. It is the fault of the online companies that have come in board, because you see, their pricing, I can say, is not really helping us who are in this industry. And I also want to say, the coming of these online companies, they come in the name of they want to be in partnership with us. But again, how it is ending up is that we are not even considered as in partnership agreement, because looking at the issue of the fuel, I know the issue of the fuel, we won't talk about it is the government or anything, because this is a global issue. Everyone is crying over the same. But we are thinking or wishing that out of this issue that everyone is passing through, at least may it be conducive to everyone to find means to live. Not whereby the fuel is the way it is today, they are also now taking their fares way down. It is not supporting. We expect it like as the price is of the fuel, at least if they were also to raise it up a bit better. Not now you are taking someone at 14 kwacha, 8 kwacha, 9 kwacha. You are talking about vehicles, they need to be serviced. Other guys who are working for others, they need to raise up cashing. So it is difficult outside there, I can say.
But I can't wait to use the cab that will charge me 14 kwacha. I haven't had that opportunity. However, I've heard the stories. But then when you are affiliating to these online platforms, online business owners, what are the arguments that are involved in that? Do you ask the relevant questions to say, okay, I'm coming on board, but what is my card? What are the conditions? Do you look at those before you affiliate?
So what happened is that let's say there are other companies, online companies, whereby before you even pick an order, it will show you a price.
Yes.
You decide for your own. Can I take this person to that point or not? Now there are others that are not showing the driver how much, but you have to call the client. How much did it show you from your point where I have to check you? Then now the client will say, oh, it is so much. Now you're like, come on. Taking a client to that distance at this late, it is not helping me. And then there are moments where you find that although the price has come to you, now you have to decide, because remember, maybe you might end up being at one point for a longer period without doing any movement. So you end up not just sacrificing because for the sake of, let me just make something even back for the fuel, because definitely without all those kind of decisions, you end up knocking off with nothing. You see? So otherwise, it is not helping.
But the consumers would argue to say, we are okay with the prices, because even this, as you talk about economic issues, even them, they have limited spending power. So what would be your justification regarding that, Mr. Chan?
Really, the consumers, I would say the customers, they are good with that. But one thing they must forget is that they are being carried by a wounded buffer. I would say unhappy driver. You know, me going to a point where I go pick up a client, I'm getting a 14 kwacha. I'm thinking whatever I'm driving, definitely even my driving wouldn't be 100%, because I will be like thinking 14 kwacha and I'm buying fuel at 26.675, of which is not okay. So really, even the clients, the customers out there, they are risking their lives.
Have you done a calculation?
We've had an experience, I think, with one of the drivers, Patrick. Zipporah actually saved that person, say, bad, what driver. You know, such that if this person calls, we book the same online, I don't want to mention the name, we book, and then this person calls us, it will reflect, say, bad Shan driver, so that tukane, because the experience we had was pretty bad. I was in the car as well. So
okay, so
totally
now we want to
that.
understand per kilometer. Because even the one you people, the original stuff were before online. The consumers' argument has been it was exploitative. You just dictate to say,
short
you look
distance,
you look at this person and say, you can afford the 250. Okay, 250.
Yes.
Then you look at the other person and say, okay, 150. You decide on your own. But the sanity that the application that I've brought about is that you have to make a decision to say, oh, this is the amount of money it is telling me. Am I going to afford it? Because this is the charge. So there's that aspect of transparency and equality in terms of making sure that consumer pay for the service. But I want to find out what would be your recommendation, especially per kilometer. How much are these online charging? Then what would be ideal for you?
Okay. The best thing these apps would do is that, or the thing that we are requesting as drivers, online drivers, is that I think they will just make a standard price. That maybe short distance, it will be like maybe 3.5 kilometers. That is 45 kwacha. That is okay with us. And after that, per kilometer, we charge maybe 12 kwacha per kilometer, of which is okay with us. We would like think of like you are safe with the fuel, definitely, and you are happy as a driver.
So at the moment, you mean that you've been making losses when it comes to fuel?
Way too much. Way too much.
You're working for the companies that you're affiliated to.
Yes. The problem is that these apps, the ones who are benefiting is the client and them. Us drivers, really, we are not benefiting.
But why haven't you, as drivers, united and create your own app collectively? Because we are also seeing that, for instance, because this is an unregulated market, and we've seen rats also coming on board to say would want to bring sanity, because there are also other issues beyond what you are explaining to us. Now, but why aren't you getting organized to ensure that you benefit yourselves as the drivers? Because if you are not organized, there's enough room for exploitation.
Okay. To tell you the truth, us as online drivers, we're there to help one another and to see how best we can help each other. And in that, definitely there's a way of opening the application. I think my friend will agree on that. We can open the application quite all right. But, you know, in order to do that, we have to really get united as online drivers and come up with one solution. Okay. So what am I trying to say is that it's very simple. We can do it, definitely, but we just have to have one mind.
Help us also understand what is the cut in terms of percentage to the owners of the app, because I understand I don't think they have to do a lot of things because to just manage the app.
How much do you subscribe? Maybe you can pick it up
how
from
much
there.
do you subscribe to the app to say?
Is it per
I'm
day,
getting
per week?
I'm getting this is my percentage and this is the percentage for the owners of the app.
Okay, for Orlando, they get 15% of every trip you make.
That is plus.
Yes.
About 3 kwacha, 75 somewhere there. That is per trip. And to add on, there are like there are many subscription that we are doing. They will deduct that percent. Okay, and then there is also what is introduced as monthly of 100 kwacha. Every driver, regardless of them getting almost 18 to 20% a trip, they are now getting again about 100 kwacha
per month
to each and every driver. Now we get to calculate all this. It is becoming more burden to us. Or I can call that we are the ones who are making that money. You are like working for them. Nothing is coming
Your
in.
own car.
My own car. They came in. Now, I think to help what my brother was saying, that issues of an app and that. Sir, before online, there was a taxi rank. Meaning we were there before online.
Yes.
Them coming to us, not us following them, them coming to us, proposing according to the movement of the world today, so-called
digital world.
Brothers, sisters, this is what is happening now in this new age time. So why can't we enter in this new era together? They'll even come with their own pricing to like, okay, but here, okay. Now, no matter what, we are partners. We are partners. Like this is another way that almost every driver is being concerned. When you came to my line to come and recruit me, you came with the voice of saying we are partners. Meaning in any kind of decisions, I think my voice will be heard.
Exactly.
But now when we get to agree with them, we accepted them, they take away all our clients who are calling us, oh, brother, they take away all our clients. Now they end up now becoming boss of us. Not knowing that if they are bosses, may we all be bosses. Because I am doing my part, they are doing their part. Because we are partners. But now today, I have no voice. I can't say to, like I can't go me as individual to their office proposing anything. They won't buy my story.
No.
We can't go 10 of us, 20 of us, they won't buy our story. We have made some movement to some of the companies, trying to approach them, talking to them about, come on guys, the way you are doing the services to us, it is not supporting us. Please, can we just try to come to one agreement? Other people whom we have gone before, like to their offices, they were driving out in our presence. We even went with media. We even went with the help of the police.
True.
Like we are going there with one unity. We don't want this issue of language, noise, no. Just to try to make things amicably between both of us. But now see what happens? They begin driving out. You ask yourself, am I considered that as a partner to these people? Or maybe they just see me as their worker. Using my car, my time, taking away my clients. By the end of the day, again, I'm being left like that on air. It's not supportive. Now we talk about the pricing with the way things are. All the same, it is pointless. Now, your points are, we can't just rise up from the bruise to say we make an app. Because what is already there, can we just try to polish it up? We move on with it. Now, we are having a difficulty because how do we polish it up if them who came with it, they are pushing us aside?
Interesting. So it's quite interesting. But if we talked about the aspect of you uniting, because as long as others will be okay with the same platforms,
nothing will change,
and you people are trying to fight for better conditions, then it will remain a status where they say, okay, let those who don't want to go, then they will work with you who are okay with that. But how are you trying to make efforts to ensure that you, because for instance, if you say we want to move, we have resolved that we want to do with your app, we are moving on our own. Do you think they will not consider your proposals? So, but what sort of action are you going to take to ensure that you actualize your issues? Because you are on record suggesting that they do not want to give you a listening ear.
Yeah.
What is
are you going to continue to lament or to wonder, or are you going to do something about it?
Our coming here on this platform, we need help. Number one, it's not that only riot, violence can answer someone's cry. At times, take it, with respect. Okay? Approach someone with value. We are all adults who are in this industry. We are appealing now to the government. If, with all possibility, help us. Believe me, youths outside there, a lot of them, they're not happy. They're not happy. Before we even came here up on this platform, we have been receiving some messages here and there. Like yesterday, we also had some meeting somewhere where some of us, we almost had to shed tears when I saw one old man who came to say, you who are representing us, can you stand and help us? Because in a Panonikamba, Nina Bana Valley 4, and among these 4 kids, Nili Benchito, because my old Corolla that I had, I was removed from the system in the name of I need to go and buy a new VPTI engine. Now, I am an old person. I am taking care of my children. You were saying that one is at is it college? And then the rest they are following up my grade. Now this man was like, I went to cry to this company that had to remove me from the system. I said, please, this is my only vehicle. This is my only vehicle. How can I buy another car? I'm just making hands to me, leaving that issue of today I work, tomorrow I do something
hand to mouth.
They don't buy your story. Now they say you need to go and look for VVTI engine. Where will you get the money? So the man, out of whatever he was trying to do, he was narrating his story to us. He said, I found a favor where someone gave me, it is an Arion, it is Arion. Cashing how much per day? 500 kwacha. In this 14 kwacha, 28 kwacha, 32 kwacha. He said, Sinidi Moneka, Murusaka, we are more than 6,000 online drivers today in Lusaka. Now, how will I make this target to 500 kwacha cashing per day? I tried the stories. Apa nibe motoka, brand poka motoka. So ijamutoka yanga itamanji, ndeli packed kuja. Whom will I carry? Where? Palanki people are not even coming there. So I tried to think of, is this how people are struggling? In this industry now, we are talking about fathers now are in, youths now are in, even women now are in. They are all now driving taxi. Now all these people who are in this business, are you telling me they are all happy? They are not happy. I have this simple example. If I am in my car, I'm driving my car, there is aircon. It is maybe 32, 42 degrees outside there. Do you know what comes to my mind? I think everyone who is outside is feeling the fresh blaze air. The way I'm feeling who is in that aircon vehicle. But not knowing that outside there, people, there is hot. It is hot outside there. So someone who is in the office right now, who is saying, because they are in the comfort zone. Because they are in the air-conned places. They are not outside there to hear and to see how people are struggling.
Indeed, well elaborated there. In case you are just joining us, we're in conversation with online drivers who are airing their grievances and various issues regarding online taxi drivers. An emerging business, Patrick, that almost every one of us has used at our comfort zone. We just call, the driver comes, we don't go to the ranks anymore. I can attest to that.
Yeah,
because we also say it is exploitative for me to walk down to the taxi rank because there are no fixed prices. But in the actual sense, I think it's a double-edged sword. It's hurting people that are involved in this whole thing.
If you were going to ask me, I think the company that manages the app, for me, they don't need more money in that percentage. They would need probably even a 2% of everything. True. If you were to ask me, because probably this is an online system and you don't need more administrative costs. You're just managing the app, and you just need 1, 2, or 3 people to just help you manage regulatory issues. And in the past, up to now, we still don't have regulatory issues and these other issues with RATSA. Now we have seen RATSA trying to put in place legislation to ensure that this business is well regulated and everything. But would you people, for instance, as RATSA works on those regulations, would you also suggest, because probably if you say as online drivers, you are also organized, don't you think that just like we see with the fuel prices with bus drivers, well, because we have public and private bus drivers association, they are organized. So what happens is that RATSA meets these stakeholders to ensure that when the price of fuel is increased, they also suggest, so no, look, our members won't be able to make profit. So what we are saying that we should increase by 1 kwacha or 2 kwacha. And we've seen that work. So when we are talking about the sanity that RATSA wants to bring, especially on the online business, what would be your recommendation, especially in ensuring that you also move with that pace so that you are not affected in terms of whenever there's a fuel increase, because at the moment it is the app that detects everything.
True.
So how would you want this be managed, especially for the betterment of your livelihood as online drivers?
I think what I can say, it's a very good idea, and we thought about it because, you know, these taxi and minibus drivers association, it's working on them. It's working on them because they've got like same price. When you go to Lima Tower or City Market or something, like whenever you're getting on a bus, going to Katlonga or something, if it is 15 kwacha, it's 15 kwacha. Whether you like it or not, you have to pay that 15 kwacha. You see, so it's mandatory, and you know, they have made it. It's an association, and it's being recognized by the government, right? So the coming to us, really, I think we can still do the same, because we had it last time. We had a meeting with RATSA and online drivers and these the companies, the online apps. Yeah, we had a meeting and we heard our views there. So we're just waiting for the answers and the like. But really, if we can do as these taxi members association, we can do as online drivers. I think we can still make it, because, you know, it is working for them, and it can still work for us.
Indeed. All right. As we wind up our conversation, just your major concluding remarks, or what is the take-home, or what do you want to see? We start with you, Mr. Kapongo.
Thank you. I think my appeal, may I just throw it to our leadership of the land, the government, because above everything, we are being governed by the government of the day. The cry of the people of Zambia, it is for the change, and the change is in different angles. We will stand to be grateful for the massive enrollment or recruitment that happened some few weeks ago, and we still stand to say, even in our industry of operation, there is still that cry that we need the government to come in. You mentioned the issues of if these other taxi associations, they are being helped by legalizing their affairs, their pricing. Even to us, we need the government to come in and help us. Our request is, if all the apps can come to one price, it will be better for all of us. If they want to come up with these issues of competing, let them compete with their services, with how they are doing their app, because there are other apps which are not friendly used to clients. There are other apps whereby they are giving too much mislocations. You call the client, where are you? Oh, need kukalingalinga, but me in Kaplonga. Where are you? Oh, need kuchainda. Why? So let them just compete in their how they are doing their app, and even how they'll be reducing their kilometer better. But for the actual price, our request is let it be uniform. Even to other apps which might be thinking of coming in board, let them just come and fall in the same price. If it is 50-45, thank you. Like that, it will be much better.
Right.
Then now they just work on how much will it be per kilometer. I think no one will complain about that one.
Okay, listen.
Yeah. One thing I can say is that without us drivers, these apps, they cannot work. They rely on us. Without our own vehicles, our own efforts, they are nothing. So, us as partners, they have to listen to us. If really they are not listening to us, then I don't know.
All right. your actually passionate plea is heard, and we surely hope that it's from here straight to the ears of the authority. We've been talking to the online taxi drivers here, and you can also join in the conversation later on as we help them zoom out. For now, let's take a short break. We will return and just give our comments on that. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned. We celebrate for all you've done. Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate. Oh, for all you've done. Lord, we give you all the praise.
The Agriculture and Commercial Show is back, bigger and better under the theme Innovation Through Technology. And as Camnet TV, we are here to transform your business through our technology. Advertise with us on discounted rates during the month of July and during the Agriculture and Commercial Show. Special price package for live stunt interviews, on-screen product placement during the coverage of the show. For more details, call the following numbers. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
There you have it. You are still watching the Camnet Breakfast Show. with me, Patrick Soko, and Shalon Kalimbula, and we were in conversation with online taxi drivers, and quite a number of issues that have come out. They think they are not being fairly treated, especially by those people who own the applications. It's quite a new phenomenon in Zambia, but we have seen law enforcement agencies moving in, the Zambia Police, the Road Safety and Transport Agency, RATSA, moving in to bring sanity, especially on how these apps should be managed. And we are hoping that they will come up with solutions that will ensure that there is safety issues, everything is addressed pertaining to the online taxi business. And we just hope that the concerns by the drivers there have been heard by those people charged with the responsibility of making sure that those matters are attended to. Sharon.
Indeed, Patrick, these issues keep coming up. We'll try and see to it that we find these online business owners so that we can talk to them and just see where they are standing, because really, if you're going to be having all those deductions from a business that is not making this much, it's definitely a cry of a person that needs to be heard. So yeah, we will follow up the story with the owners of these companies and see to it that we can bridge the gap and try to help. But then we have a story, Patrick, from Garden Compound.
Yes.
It happened the day before yesterday, though, where a 3-year-old child was found in is it a bin or something like that? But initially, before it was discovered that it was a bin, the story that was all over social media was that one, please give us the story, Patrick.
Well, the story is that a 3-year-old girl of Ngwelele Ward 22 in Lusaka's Garden Compound, only identified as Tenjiwe Banda, has died in unclear circumstances. In an interview with Camnet TV News, neighbors narrate that the 3-year-old girl was only found in a bin used for storing water in the house, with the bin closed and a stool placed on top of the bin. Meanwhile, family members have called for quick investigations to ascertain the cause of death for the 3-year-old girl. Camnet News has reached out to the Zambia Police Public Relations Unit to get more details on the matter. Here's a report.
This is a gathering of community members in Ngwerere Ward 22 of Garden Compound in Lusaka who have come together to air their grievance over the suspected murder of a 3-year-old girl in the area who was found drowned in a household water storage bin on Tuesday. In interviews with Camnet News, the neighbors have wondered how a 3-year-old could have climbed into the water storage bin, stating that it is high and huge, adding that the lid was also found closed.
Mwana ujani mwana mungono alibechimo na muntu ngati wazonda mai wa mwana nichani kuzonda mwana mungono, so ali innocent. Utenge mwana uja umuike mudramu wavininkirapo waikapo na kastu nicho ipa china shitika sitina kondwele as neighbors. So polisi vazivevochita vachita investigate bwino kuri issue inashitika ndava inashitikira panyumba pamene.
Others have called on parents to keep an eye on their children at all times to prevent such incidents.
In our community, we need to be very careful for our children. But my message to other women is that take good care of your children. Make sure that you're always with them, or even make sure there's someone to watch over them.
Meanwhile, grandmother of the girl, who only agreed to speak off camera, has narrated the ordeal.
So ndima tengera manzi ya jantira mukamba. So ali moyo mtamkicha nakamba ati manje mwameno mubini muone kamulichovala ina natasa wamena mevenzo washa tapiwa na Trisha balikale si wangaponye mocho vala mwamena tengera manzi ya jaja mwana bwera naye. So maiguru bakamba ati dekani nichuone chamene chovala cha bwanji. Mwana wangenera muja mchana wafati mwana nzavala cha javala chi jacket so cha brown amaigulu ande umudram muone kamuli vovala chovala chakana chaoneka kutika machoneka nchikoti so inopena mbira mtima wotuko kutipa ndi mwana ngenera munyumba mujanende chiteso chine chidosa mbira chilemerera kubo chidosa so pesa manje ni mwana shuwa mwana.
Ngwerere Ward 22 Councillor Mr. Adrian Banda has called for calm in the community, stating that the matter has been reported to the police, who say they are investigating.
Tenjiwe Banda, aged 3, drowned in a 110 liters plastic drum containing water. This occurred yesterday around 06 hours at the reporter's house in the kitchen. Brief facts surrounding the matter are that the reporter woke up the deceased around 05 hours to prepare her for school. While she went to sweep outside the house, she left the child inside the house. Together with her daughter, female Cynthia Banda, who is the mother to the deceased, they searched for the deceased and discovered her in the plastic container with water.
Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Welcome back. You are watching the Camnet breakfast show, and we're still zooming in the stories. That's an interesting story there in Ngwelele Ward 22, and the child actually died in unusual circumstances, found in a bin, and there was a stool on top of the bin. Wow, who could do that, such a thing?
Exactly.
So it's really unknown circumstances. But someone would wonder to say maybe the child took himself or herself in the bin, but it is big all the same. So
exactly.
People are wondering what would have transpired, and elements of foul play are coming or are being considered here. And the people you heard, Sharon, were trying to advocate that the Zambia police expedites investigations, although investigations really never take us anywhere. Because
are you saying that to Mr. Hamonga?
Yeah,
Mr. Ray Hamonga.
I remember, Sharon. There are many stories you and I that we have covered. Even if we trace back, we say we are investigating the matter, especially the stories on Made. And most of the stories have ended just like that. Investigation stage. And I remember that's what reminds me of say, okay, all stories that are seemingly pending, we need to be making sure that we after about 3 months or 6 months,
we check them out.
We check them out.
But you know what I'm hoping for right now, Patrick?
What is that?
Is that Mr. Hamonga is not watching.
Yes, yes. Equally my prayer is that Mr. Hamonga is not watching.
He's not watching.
Because I know he will be on you. He will be on you.
Investigations, never ending investigations.
Yeah, I know Mr. Hamonga. But yeah, he's our good comrade.
Yes.
Who does everything possible to ensure that they represent the Zambia Police Service, especially when it pertains to matters that are affecting the general public. We've been talking to him on several, and we have to call him on a daily basis because we are living in a society where crime is usually a daily issue, and so the police, UTH. These are bits that we don't avoid in the news because. Something should be happening in this
somewhere.
So we have to continue troubling him. But we were saying, Sharon, really the investigations on that child story. I'm ready to give you a 50 kwacha. If at all you are going to hear anything different from that, I think it has ended just like that.
Mr. Monga, don't disappoint me. Money.
I'm going
Please do the investigations, Patrick.
Yeah, so
but
we just
unwire yourself.
Yeah, there are a number of issues, Sharon, that we really need to go back. Even us as the media, we need to make sure that we just try to re-echo some stories because they're still fresh.
The issue of the abductions that have been happening, Patrick, you've covered quite a number of those, at least especially for the mobile money boots. When the story for Pamela came out,
yes,
there are other people also. There was one in Chilenge. It was a story done by one of the media houses. We followed that story at least. Then the story that you did for the other girl.
There are interesting twists to that story.
To that story.
We're going to bring that out.
But then the police are saying they're still investigating. Obviously, that's where you think they're not doing as much. But according to them, investigations take a bit of time for them to follow all the leads that they are getting from people. Others are false alarms. Others are good leads that would lead them towards finding the solutions or what really transpired, but others are really false alarms.
You are right when you say investigations are ongoing and the police continuously do that. But Sharon, I also want to brief you that the
rate at which we investigate.
In as much as we have seen that our police service and our law enforcement wings are being trained with the help of other institutions or other countries like the American government, we've seen them helping them with, in terms of forensic investigations, and also making sure that they're up to date with technological issues, because Sharon, criminals or thieves are becoming sophisticated
by the day.
Exactly. And if you see criminals are utilizing ICT facilities to just ensure that they get past you and me, because if you look at even the trending video or video scandals, these are elements of ICT. So it's about how do you get beyond such systems.
Like, you know,
how do you
off air, I think I'm likening it to that. You know, when you are advancing as a man, you're getting exposed. Expose your wife as well. So equally, the world is advancing daily. Things are advancing daily, matching up to the technology that the police is having. I think I covered one of the story where former police IG Kakoma Kanganja was saying police have advanced in terms of the forensic department to investigate these issues, but then also the thieves have come with their own technology, matching up to that even more. You know, they're able to know exactly to say, okay, apamanje bakapokola bazainda so isechende so, you know, things like that. The 419. So basically, it's about the advancement of the world. As things advance, people need to also match up to the technological aspect. If not, we are just going to remain investigating cases without finding solutions while the thieves are getting away with this, because they are connected, you know, to various people. The international community that has advanced so much, you know, they are going there to learn all these tactics. They are going there to learn all these online scams, you know, that have come with the uses of online platforms. We've got so many of them. So many online businesses where people have been scammed.
Exactly, yeah, cybercrime.
So people are discovering things daily. You know, when you talk about ICTs, when you talk about the science and technology, the mutatis of that world, these are things he also needs to start looking into in partnership with his colleague, obviously, for, where the cyber laws fall under, so that you can enhance these regulations. You can enhance the roles of investigative wings in terms of using ICTs, because this is where we are going.
Exactly.
This is where we are actually, because they are saying ICTs, science and technology is the way to go. But then, yes, it is the way to go. But with all these things that come with science and technology, how ready are we? How prepared are we as a country? Because honestly, I totally agree with you when you say investigation stage. I think we take so long sometimes, even where it seems we can find a solution quicker. The issue of Pamela, I don't know how we have failed to actually identify exactly where this phone call was coming from and who these people were, you know, all these things. Where is Zicta, you know, when it's supposed to be monitoring all the calls, you know? So it's
another exciting perspective about Zicta is that, Sharon, they have earned a reputation, like in the past, to say when you insult the president, they will manage to track you and find who is the caller.
Exactly, they'll find who the caller is. They'll find who, because I remember they managed to find that guy who had insulted the president on Facebook.
Yes,
posted something on Facebook. They managed to find that guy within 2 days or a day. You know, that person was behind bars. But then where somebody is even using their phone to call different people, demanding for money. Okay, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing?
So even the aspect of phones, someone loses a phone, they cannot track the next number. They would want to wait up to so many days. They won't even put interest. The police officers will just be giving you stories here and there, while they will tell you to provide money for fuel and whatever.
Yeah, you're a victim. You are speaking from experience.
At the end of the day, you do not get your thing. What do you have next? You lose confidence.
Exactly.
You lose faith in the system. So there's a lot that needs to be done if we are to regain the confidence of the public, especially as far as investigations are concerned, combating crime is concerned. Because at the end of the day, criminals feel, even if you go there, they won't
Somebody
even,
feel
they're not even
agitated.
interested. They'll just say, but the cool that go and Kalete and drama ya fuel.
fuel.
So if you don't have money for fuel, it means that your issue may slip. So you just forget about it. And for me, I've just learned to move on. Say,
When you lose something.
when I lose a phone,
You just move on.
I just said, I have to move on because people in Ukraine have lost a quite huge property things than me. So that's the only comfort that I have, because you can imagine how those missiles have destroyed a house that people live their livelihoods to just build, and in a flash everything is gone.
Lose a phone. Just
all the televisions, all the sets, everything is gone, and I lose a phone. I want to lament. No, I won't lament. I won't even go to the Zambia police.
Yeah, a waste of time. But anyways, we still appreciate their role and what they do in society this far. Thank you so much for watching Camnet TV. We are winding up the show. Of course, we've been zooming into some of the stories that we carried just today, and we looked at the money markets as well as the health corner, where the doctors were talking about a deep vein thrombosis. Patrick,
yes.
Patrick keeps laughing at me. I don't know. I just mastered the word thrombosis. It sounds a bit funny, but yeah. And we also talked about the thank parade that was going on yesterday for the Shipolopolo, who were at least greeting their fans and did a great job. Came third from the tournament that just ended. Of course, we will have another breakfast show tomorrow on the business for breakfast. Patrick?
Yeah, for me and Sharon Kalimbola, who will be back on the screen on Wednesday next week as we come with politics and governance. Stay tuned. Remember, Camnet TV is not just
another channel.